What's good, y'all? Welcome to Outside the Clutch. This is going to be, I think, our very first pre-record. So we're going to be at a show in Odessa this weekend while everyone else is in Tinley. But I promised that I was not going to take another weekend off throughout the rest of the year. So I think we've taken too many weekends off. I need to push this. We're going to go ahead and we're going to pre-record on show weekends so that you are still getting to know other people throughout the industry and just getting that content out, getting some knowledge and some love for the industry out. Tonight is going back to our El Paso heritage, our love for our home city. We have a guy tonight that I'm super excited to talk to. Um, he works with a couple of different species. He's extremely charismatic about what he's doing. Huge advocate for USARK. I love this dude's passion for USARK. We're going to be definitely talking about it tonight. Along with his photography, like his photography skills are on point. So I'm super excited to bring him on. What we are doing here is starting to grow, and I want to thank you all because you've made it possible. Just the audio listeners and those that watch on YouTube. It's been a great pleasure to watch this grow into what it's growing to. We're starting to bring in some big name guests again, and I'm super excited to see where this evolves to and where the future has in store. That being said, if you're listening to audio only, go ahead and click on the links down below and consider supporting the podcast. We are looking at launching a Patreon here soon. So if you want to do that or like become one of our patrons, we're going to come up with some really cool ideas. I've been bouncing it off of a lot of people. I think it's going to make a difference besides the normal Patreon stuff that you see with a lot of people, not knocking them. I think there's stuff that we could do that should be the focus to the patrons and not so much the person running that Patreon. Right. Anyways, without further ado, let's jump into our current sponsors and share the love that we have for all things husbandry. Here at Outside the Clutch, we're honored to be sponsored by VivTech. Are you ready for innovation? Tired of the same boring product that's been used for 30 years? Ready to give your reptiles and amphibians the UV they really deserve? Then look no farther than VivTech. Their 3-watt LED bulbs provide the UV rays your animals have been missing. With 3 bulbs to fit your pet's climate needs, plus a dimmable feature, it's the only bulbs we use for UV. And it's the only bulb with a 2-year warranty in the industry. Plus now you can monitor all your pet's husbandry from your phone 24/7 with their sensors and even ship your customers' animals in their custom bags. So what are you waiting for? Go to vivtechproducts.com today, use code FCLUTCH0322 for 15% off, and provide your animals the best care they've ever had. And I mean, you know I'm all about that chip life. Are you ready for the best coconut substrate in the game? Then you gotta get ReptiChip. First off, it's America's chip because it's veteran owned. Secondly, why wouldn't you want the best cocoa chip for your animals? Go to reptichip.com, use code FEALYCHIPPIN for 10% off 2 breeder blocks, or reach out to me as a local representative in the El Paso area. And don't forget to join the Reptilution, where all profits go to helping those in need within the reptile community. And third and finally, Show Me Snakes. Mickey does an outstanding job. I freaking love the dude's work ethic. That's actually where we're going to be this weekend, is vending the Odessa show. We're trying to bring shows to West Texas, y'all. Come out, come support it. Give Mickey some love. If you ain't making Tinley and you're nearby or like one state over, take the drive, man. It's worth it. It's worth it. I'm telling you, I drive 10 hours on average for most shows, and I really enjoy what he's doing. I really want to see the Texas shows blow up more than they are. And hopefully we could be a big part of that. So make sure you come check out the Odessa show. It'll actually be while this is airing, in all honesty. So if you're listening to this, get your ass in your car and drive to Odessa. But without further ado, we're going to get to my man, Mr. Kristian Lujan. of Texas Kid Reptiles.
Heck yeah, thanks, John.
What
Yeah,
it do,
you
bro?
guys, not much. Great shout out for those Texas shows, man. We're trying to get those to grow, right, John? It's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
it's hard, man. It's hard out here. All the good shows are out east. They're all 10, 12 hours from us, so no doubt.
Yeah. So one of the things I brought up, well, before we jump into all that, let's talk about you and who is Kristian and what got you into all this.
Oh man, I don't know. I'm just a small town boy. We're down here from El Paso. I grew up with chickens. I grew up with rabbits, goats, everything, you name it,
You
even
grew up on a
pigs.
farm.
Yeah, we have kind of farmland out here, so it's always been that way. My dad was in FFA, so
Okay.
that's the Future Farmers of America. That's one of the programs that it's not around as much as it used to be, but I feel like they should bring it back because it's a lost art. Being able to work with animals, farmland, just being able to produce things.
Right.
It's an art. It's a lost art. So yeah, um, I grew up out here. The snakes were always trying to get at our chickens, right? So we'd always be seeing garter snakes, desert king snakes, stuff like that. So I used to be really scared of snakes back in the day. I don't know, but as soon as I held my first ball python, I got my first ball python from Pedro, Santana Serpents. He's local. As you had him on a while back, but great
Yeah.
guy. Um, I bought a ball python out of impulse, dude. So I don't know. I
That's the
showed
way it
up.
always happens, bro.
Yeah, that's how it was. And I at that time I was already into the leopard geckos. But I don't know, man. Ever since I saw my first reptile, I was just fascinated by them. Whether it was my first ball python, my first bearded dragon, first leopard gecko, it's like, man, I was just like amazed. It's like they all look like Jurassic Park. Like it's just amazing.
Now
So
we
I
know
don't
how to
know.
sell you, bro. We just got to find something you haven't seen before and put it in your hands
Yeah,
and you're sold.
yep, pretty much, man. A boa's next, but we'll see how it goes. I I want to get a boa soon, but
Heck yeah.
heck yeah.
So
But
how long have you been doing this?
not that long officially, like with racks and the whole setup, actually trying to aspire to breed, and it's because it snowballs really fast. So in my first year, I picked up like so many geckos, like 30 plus. So and then the ball python started to stack on. So it's like I don't know, man, but shoot, I don't know. I just want to try and keep this going. It's tough. I don't know.
Well, I mean, you got the passion for it, and
Yeah, heck yeah.
it really shows not just in what you do, but
Yeah.
the way you talk about it. Like when we finally cracked that shell, you guys haven't noticed Christian's he's talkative, but he's very reserved when he talks
I'm
until
very
you get him
reserved.
excited. Once he pops,
Yeah, I just won't stop once I get going. But I mean, you just got to give me that topic and I'll keep it going.
yeah, yeah, I
But
got you. Got
I
you. That's
mean,
my job here.
so I'll tell you more. I work at for the school district. I do IT, so I fix all these kids' laptops, right? So I get a lot of interaction with young kids, and it just cracks me up. Like just getting to deal with kids. Some are funny, some are real, like intuitive, very curious. So I see that spark in their eye, like how the spark that I used to have, right? Like when I first saw my first reptiles, like so I just live to see that smile in that young person's mind. Because
That's my
some
favorite
of
part,
these,
bro.
yeah, dude, like vending at these shows, it's like these kids come up to your table. It's like some of them have never seen stuff like this, right? Especially out here where we're from West Texas currently. Yeah, man, these kiddos haven't been exposed to the wide world. It's like, and then they see the colors and the patterns. They're just amazed. So, I mean, I live just to see those kids, like honestly. And now
That's
with my first son, it's like I just strive to be better and strive to, I don't know, just make this world a better place. And I don't know, how can you not love animals? Like,
So
that's why we have to
what
support
made you
USARK.
sorry, go ahead.
No, but that's why we have to support USARK, because we have to protect these
Absolutely.
animals. It's a true love for some people, and yeah, we just gotta protect it, make it grow.
Absolutely, man. Let's talk about the species that you're working with, and then we'll jump into all the ways you contribute into USR, because I don't think a lot of people know, like us locally and your customers that are watching your stuff, they know, I'm sure, but like you're a huge USARK supporter. But let's talk about the species before we jump into all that, and then we'll jump into the USARK.
Cool. Well, I first started out with leopard geckos. I acquired my first gecko from another local buddy. He recently got out. I actually just bought out his collection. Some unforeseen some circumstances came up, and I ended up with his collection, which was very sad, but very thankful. But he's the person that got me into this hobby. When I saw my gecko, I was amazed. Just the pastel colors, it just looked out of this world, man. But I don't know.
Dude, I used to shit on everybody, and I'm gonna say it freely, like it is what it is. I was like, man, it's a weird looking gecko. It is
Yeah,
what it is. But I always saw like what was it? It's not even the Raptors. I forget what it is. It's like a predominantly yellow morph, right? And it might be the pastels. I don't know. I don't know what they call it, but I'd see them all the time, and I was just like, man,
yeah,
it's a cool lizard. Yeah, it's cool, but and then I started seeing like the real crazy morphs, like what you're working with, or like a
yeah,
couple of other people that I know, and the colors, man. Like leopard
yep,
geckos hold some of the nicest colors out of all reptiles. So I understand it now. I was a hater
yeah.
before. Like we have two of our own now, and I'm just like, I understand it now.
Yeah, it may seem kind of childish, like but man, the line breeding that is in geckos, like it's so much more noticeable than ball pythons. Because within 2 3 years, you can develop those line bred traits, like those stripes and stuff, very quickly.
Oh,
So getting to work with them and see the progress that fast, it's like it's amazing. So yeah, that's why I love the geckos. And then after that, that's when I got into the ball pythons, because the geckos sell, but that's more of a passion project for me. I don't care about making profit off geckos. What I do the geckos for is pure passion. I just love to photograph them. I love to. They're beautiful. Even some of the ones that come out normal, like those would be like the $40 or $50 pet style, which they come out even with these high end morphs. We still get some of those. They're still beautiful. They're awesome. So the geckos is mainly a passion project. I usually spend more like on feeders than I make, but I mean, it's a pure passion. Just seeing the progress.
that's
Yeah,
cool, man. Okay.
yeah, man. But so I got into the ball pythons to kind of fund more projects, right? Of course, you there's more opportunity to make slightly more profit with ball pythons. There's no shame in it. I mean, we all want to make money doing what we love, so there's no shame in talking about profit or animals, because they're investments. I mean, at some
I agree.
point you get in. Yeah, heck yeah, John. Like you already know. You told me how much you spent for this snake.
We're not going to
Just
talk about that.
well, that's an example, right? I
Well,
mean, they're
that's the
investments,
difference,
but
though, man. Like
yeah,
what you're talking about, like, yeah, they are an investment, but like end of the day, you got to look at what you want to do. Like, are you going to
exactly.
do the pet, or are you going to try to be a legitimate business? Because if you're a
Yeah,
legitimate business, you can't. And we already talked about it. Whatever. Um, if you're going to be a legitimate business, you can't be afraid to spend the money. And like my
yes, sir.
buddy Antoine always says, he's like, scared money don't make money.
Yeah,
And it's funny because like back in the day when I was spending $500, $600 on starter snakes, right?
right, right.
this is insane. Why am I spending this type of money on an animal? Like, not thinking about it, right?
Yeah.
And then I want to say this. We'll
You
just say
just
I times it by 10,
yeah.
and it was when you times it by 10, it was easier for me to throw that money than it was initially, if
Right.
that makes sense. Which is
Oh yeah.
scary, but
Yeah.
at the same time, it's not.
Yeah. I mean, I felt the same way. I mean, I just bought this collection. I nearly tripled mine. So it's like it was kind of shocking. Like I just really didn't think about it because I was so confident in my ability to be able to take that project on and be able to do something with it and not really worry because I mean the profit will come if you have that passion.
Oh
I
yeah,
mean you're gonna stick in it and you're gonna earn it back. So
absolutely,
you you shouldn't be worried. I mean, but sometimes you just got to take that plunge and see if it's worth it. I mean, especially if you have that passion because it's a lot of work. Once you get into I say over 50. I mean, it's a lot of work. 50
Well, like
animals like in general.
the scary part is the legless animals
Hmm.
take me less time throughout the week than everything with legs.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. You're right.
Like, well, you got to think like so they're not full bioactive, but like the leopard geckos have full setups. They're not on paper. My wife
Hmm.
didn't want to keep them on paper in a rack system. She's like, no, these
True.
are my pets. I don't plan on breeding them. I want to enjoy looking at them. So like
Yes.
we got all that. So when we have to clean one of those, it takes us like half an hour to clean one sometimes.
Yeah.
And then the other geckos just like I don't know if you've ever worked with Ractodactylus species before, like the lychees or the cresties, stuff like that. Dude,
Well, the
they
cresteds,
poop
yeah.
everywhere,
Ah,
like
I know.
everywhere,
Yeah.
constantly.
Yep. Um, I
Takes me
have my
forever, bro.
I have my crested set up with a bioactive setup
Yeah.
with LECA at the bottom, the screening and then the mixed topsoil. But I mean, it's hard to maintain because you can easily start getting gnats and it just gets gross. So it's hard to maintain those for sure. I have a small collection of crested geckos, but not major. I produce those just out of passion too, just small project because these leopard geckos and ball pythons, it's a lot of work. So I don't want to. It's hard to when you're stretched out different ways. When you have that focus, you're. I mean, they say a master of everything is what a master of none, right? I think that's how it goes.
So,
So I don't know.
uh, I know what you're trying to say. It's a jack of all trades is a
There
master
you
of
go.
none,
There you go.
but
That's it.
a master is only a master of one. So a lot of people forget the second half of that quote.
Yeah. See,
But
I forgot
so
it.
we've taken it and we've said essentially it's better to be a master of one trait than being able to multitask.
Yeah.
But
So
which I agree with. So like when you're first jumping into something, by all means, like divulge everything into that so that you can be adequate in it.
yeah.
I'm not necessarily like become a master in that, but if that's like ball pythons, I love ball pythons. I love playing with the morphs. I've freaking divulged the last 5 more than 5 years now. Where we at? It's almost 23. So I'm at probably 6 years of studying genetics and how they work and like how they interplay with each other.
Yeah.
I've only been
Dude,
breeding for 3, but hold on.
me I never answered that
Uh-uh.
question.
Uh-uh. Uh-uh.
So
Go. I'll give you a hug, but you can't do that. I told you I'm working. Get out of here.
the kiddos, that's how it is, man.
Oh, there's our first edit. They
Oh,
know
it's all
better
good.
than
Shoot.
um
But
where were we?
I mean, I've technically only been in it since late 2019, early 2020. That's when I first
Oh,
started
you're moving
acquiring them.
fast, bro.
Yeah, it multiplied quick, dude. But the racks, once you buy racks, I mean, they fill in, so it's like that's how it goes. But technically, only going on 3-4 years, more or less, with full rack setup and the whole shebang. Breeding, going into my third breeding season with geckos. Um, Going into my second season with ball pythons.
Heck yeah.
First season went really good, thankfully. I had 8 clutches. I was trying to test the waters to see what I can handle, and
Bro, you did more your first year than I've done in a season yet.
oh man, dude, I got lucky.
That's awesome.
I got lucky.
That's awesome.
I ended up, when I first got in, they frown upon buying breeder females, but that's what I did because I just wanted to see if I could even do it. I bought a collection of about 10 breeder females. Nothing crazy. Some nice combos. I got 2 recessives. They proved out for me. I hit some clowns in my first year. I was happy to just hit one. So as far as the ball pythons, my collection is fairly small. I only have about 20 total females, about 10 breeder females right now. The rest are all subadults. They're all around pushing that 1,200 gram mark, almost ready to breed. So those were the growths that I initially bought when I bought the breeder females, because I didn't just buy those breeder females. I bought stuff to grow out because I wanted a second wave after that first year.
Okay.
So those are barely starting to get up to size. I'm gonna start pairing them late. I've got one pushing 1,400, 1,500. She's a monster eater. I might just pair her up, but we'll see how it goes. But I'm not trying to push it too much because I recently took over the collection of the geckos, and I don't want to overwhelm myself because that's a whole other beast.
Right.
That collection is massive. So the genetic library is so vast. It's a lot of. I've got to take inventory still because, yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot, but I feel
Well,
very
geckos are
blessed
crazy
because,
too. Like the way you guys stack them and do the line breeding on them. It's a whole
yeah,
nother monster, man. Like,
yeah, and something that geckos are cheap, and some are they're under 200. But if you want good quality, some of the stuff that we got here, they're upwards of $1,200 and stuff. So, some of the geckos can get pretty up there, but I don't know. That's how it is, man. It's just you got to manage all these projects, and it's a lot. Um, Especially like on mental health, it's like, dude, I'm always on Morph Market. It's like very bad. It's like you got to
speaking
give the
of,
family more attention, man.
Morph Market finally launched their app, so make sure you
Oh,
check that out.
word. Yep.
Just saying, Morph Market has an Apple app now. Super
Yep.
excited about that. I'm gonna be in
Heck yeah.
so much trouble now.
Heck yeah.
Not that I
That's how
couldn't
it is.
access it from my phone, but now it's even easier to like do everything. It's awesome.
Heck yeah.
I love what John's doing over there, man. So let's jump into it. You've been at it for 3 years. You're breeding geckos for 3 years, ball pythons. This is your second. Um, what made you decide the genetics that you're working, and what would you like to? I wouldn't necessarily say like divulge your plans, but like what
Yeah.
would you like to see from those projects in the future?
Uh, I'm not really hiding much. I mean, my collection's fairly small. I'm only 26 years old. Just bought my first
Baby,
house,
man.
had my first baby, so my budget's not. I'm not a rich man by any means. I work hard, so I do what I can without putting my family in any sort of jeopardy, because you got to be smart with your money. And so I mean, my most expensive snake is only maybe $2,000, but that's already a stretch.
Only.
So, so my passion is in the hurricane gene. I love what hurricane does, man. What Hans Winter has done with hurricane is amazing. And I don't know. I just want to see hurricane personally in like I want to see more of it in my collection with pied. I'm gonna put it into clown. I'm gonna keep pushing hurricane into everything, as well as blackhead. I'm trying to get super blackhead combos. I That's where my true passion is, in the blackheads and the hurricanes.
Okay.
But yeah, my collection's not crazy. Right now I'm selling some of the proven breeders, trying to make space for the girls that are upcoming. So I
You're
don't know,
doing
man.
it smart, man. It's almost like you got mentored or something.
Kind of, not really. Um, I wish that I would have bought a different set of proven breeders, but these girls did good for me. I can't complain. I got 8 great clutches, beautiful babies. I sold most of them. Even some of them were just co-doms, but I had no problem selling them, and they pay to grow to pay for the feeders for the girls that are growing up. So sometimes you gotta make those paycheck snakes, right? Those sell real quick. So there's no shame in making stuff that's under $300. Like, but like I say,
Dude, some
I hopefully,
like my first year, I lived in that space, man, and I was like, it's
yeah,
not that I'm afraid to step out of that space. It's just like,
yeah,
so at this last show, right at Arlington, I proved to myself that I've been at it enough. I've known enough that I could sell those multiple $1,000 snakes.
yeah, at
I
the
was like,
big shows.
okay,
Then,
it's time to step up and actually play with the big boys a little bit, you know?
yeah,
And you're feeling yourself out. And I understand that. Like it's
yeah.
with a new baby, a new house, a new collection, essentially. Like you're
Oh
still
man,
dialing everything in at this point, man. Like
yeah,
it's a lot to take in at once. I'm super proud of you. I love watching what you're doing here locally. You're probably one of, if not the biggest hustler I know in El Paso as far as snakes and geckos go, man. Like you're always on every local group. You're going crazy all the time. Seems like you're
yeah.
always sending stuff out. So I'm proud of you, man. Like you're doing a lot of good stuff.
It's a grind, and it's like we talked about, trying to grow this local market, because these, it's like locally they've never seen these animals. So trying to just show it to, I don't know, to friends, family, whoever wants to see my photography. I mean, I try to show my photography off just as like an icebreaker, just to show them
Right.
reptiles, and then I start talking about my breeding and all that. You should check me out. And but I don't know. That's how it is. We got to grow this hobby, so we got to try our best in
Absolutely.
everything that we do. Yeah.
So we kind of talked about it. We'll jump into your real big projects here in a little bit. Like I know you talked about the blackhead and you talked about the hurricane, and we'll jump into the gecko projects that you're working as well. Let's jump into USARK because you do something a little bit different than anyone that I've seen, and it's super selfless. And I love that about you. And that's that you
What's
give
that?
10% of all your sales to USARK, and you're consistently posting. And that's how I know you're hustling so hard too. Partially is I
Yeah.
keep seeing multiple screenshots of the donations you have to make because of your sales, and which is
Yeah.
awesome, man.
I I
What
want to
made
be
you decide to
transparent.
do that of all things?
I just want to be transparent with everything that I do. I want you to know that if you're supporting me, I'm supporting our hobby as a whole. And when I post those story posts, it's just I want my customers to see, like, I'm truly giving back. I'm not just saying that. So I just want to do that, and I don't know, try to make people not demand that from them, but maybe we can start doing a little better. I mean, a lot of us do donate, but I mean, come on, guys, it's stuff's expensive. We gotta pay for all the stuff going on. We gotta support as much as we can. And 10%, I mean, you sell a 200. If I sell a $200 gecko, that's $20. That's nothing. So
Right.
money is not an object to me. Like I say, it's a pure passion. If I can get my animal into your home and support this hobby, I mean, I'm happy. If I'm in the hole, a couple bucks for feeders on that gecko, it doesn't matter, man. Like they come and go, and I'm not worried about that. I'm worried about pushing this hobby and making it stick, because the with all this government stuff going on, man, it's too risky right now. We gotta protect this. So
Speaking of, with USARK, if you guys haven't checked it out, there was an update that just got put out this week for Iowa. So make sure you share that out. Make sure you're keeping eyes on that. They are trying to,
yep.
I believe it's Sioux Falls. Let me pull that up real quick. But anyways, in Iowa, they're trying to put a ban on all animals in the fact that you can't have more than 3 pets, period. So essentially, in that area, you would see all the hold on, U.S.
And
You would
that's
see the
ironic
end
that you
of
say that.
breeding in that area.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like there's so Sioux City, Iowa. Uh, they're trying to limit the number of animals, including dogs and cats, of their residents by redefining the term domestic animal.
Ah, it's a shame. It's a
Yeah,
shame. What some people think that PETA's a good thing. I don't know, man. It's like,
garbage, bro.
yeah, it's
Garbage. I'll
like
say it right now.
that's why I hear a lot of people like at work and stuff that are real into like saltwater fish and stuff, and I just make them aware of USR because man, it can affect anyone. It could affect anyone.
And it
Domestic
does.
pets,
Like
right? Right?
we looked at we looked at those Lacey Act amendments that were trying to
Yeah.
go through. Luckily, they were pulled out, but that would have changed the pet industry altogether. Like you got to realize half the states you can't even buy a pet anymore as far as like cats or dogs. Like places like California, you have
Yeah.
to adopt. And they call it an adoption, but it's like it's coming from the same place. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. But
but
we got to do
it's just
what
crazy,
we
man.
can do. Yeah, dude. And I love what you do, John, because I know that you give back too with your with your Viv Tech sales. That's awesome. So I mean, that's what we all got to do, even if it's just a little here, a little there. Some of these breeders, I know they have like $100,000 of inventory. So man, think of, I'm not saying give 10%, but I mean, think of what we can like donate if we each did that. So I don't know.
Well, you got to think the people that are running, like people that are running successful breeding businesses, and I'm not going to say it's anyone. Like, obviously, there's the scumbags of the industry, right? That just don't want
Yeah,
to support. They want to hoard all that money, and that's their prerogative, and that's on them, man. Like, at the end of the day, just freaking be better. But
yeah,
um, for the most part, people that do this as a legitimate business in any sense and are making upwards of 100, 200, 500, a million in the industry, because there are people that clear $1 million in the industry every year.
yeah, no doubt.
You see them support USARK. You see them support all the small breeders. That you
Yeah,
see them support anyone they can in any way. The difference is you got to understand how to approach these people, because
yeah,
they don't have the mindset that most people do, right? Like you're not I mean I said that wrong. They do, but they don't. Like when you're talking money to people that are in that point of position, right? Not saying that they're better than us or anything like that, by no means. I'm
yeah,
saying that like when you get to that level, you're always looking at investing. So if I'm coming to you and I'm saying, "Hey, you make like $250,000 a year off of reptiles." Well, first off, you should be a gold member or a platinum
yeah,
member or whatever the highest member is, because it's a G note. Like it's $1,000 out of your year. Who cares? And it's a
yeah,
tax write off.
yeah,
But on top of that, like you should be doing the USARK auctions at the big shows. You should be donating animals that might might take a couple $1,000s off of you, but if it keeps your business alive because of legislation staying out of the way, it makes sense. But the way people that like the way we talk about it and the way we talk to those with money, we don't always approach it right. You got to understand everything at that point kind of has to be in a business sense, as bad as that sounds, because that's the mindset that they've had to put themselves in to get to that point.
Yeah.
So if you say the wrong type of thing, it just automatically turns them off. And I've learned this from one of my business mentors.
Mm-hmm.
The dude owns franchises, like multiple franchises in El Paso. He's expanding out to Houston and eventually is looking to take over the franchises for those certain stores in all of Texas.
Oh, wow. Nice.
Like the dude's worth probably just short of $1 billion right now.
Oh my gosh.
And he's one of the guys that I get to talk to on a regular basis. And he talks to me the way that I kind of talk to our group, right? Like I put questions out there and I make you think about it, but I don't give you the answer. And that's the way he approaches me. And I'm learning mannerisms and stuff like that from him. I'm learning how to approach certain business tasks from him. And he's been a huge asset for me. And hopefully I'll be able to continue to learn from it and pass that down to everyone locally so that we're all successful. And that's what I want. But
we all rise with the tide. I mean,
exactly,
that's how it goes. Exactly. We all rise.
And that's another thing you do. And a lot of people don't say it. Like my success this year, and I'm not gonna lie, a lot of my success this year came from you as far as my stuff locally, because I just don't put myself out locally. You know what I mean? Like all my stuff locally is from you guys. It's not from me. I might post every now and then in a local group, but I'm looking at national level stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, man. I try to do my best because you guys are my good friends. I mean, we're a small knit group, so I try to push out. If people hit me up and I sell a snake to them, I'm gonna send them your way for the cocoa. If you have rats, I mean, I'm gonna send them to you too. But
that's a hard
I know
one, bro.
rats.
I'm always expanding. Like I'm always
aside.
expanding rats.
But yeah. And say if they hit me up for a certain gene of a ball python, and I don't have it, I'll send them to you. I'll send them to Gabe. That's how it goes, man. If I can't make that sale, I want you as my buddies to make that sale. So we all rise with the tide. So
the way it should be.
That's how it goes. Yeah.
So you do your 10% for USARK. You're actively giving out flyers at your shows. What else do you do for USARK? And then we'll jump into some of the other things that we wanted to talk about.
I was on one of Earl's lives on Instagram on Sunday once, and I heard him say that he was doing $50 off if you sign up for USARK or something like that. And so technically you save $10 because the membership's $40, but you get a free shirt, and that made sense. But at the time, I was doing 10% off if you sign up or if you're already a member. But I heard Earl say that, and I'm like, let's just start doing that. That makes sense, right? You save $10, you get a free shirt. I mean, what more can you ask for? Like, you're getting the animal that you want, saving money, and supporting this hobby. So I started doing that, and then I've got a couple geckos that I'm gonna ship out for to donate for the auction, but it should be coming up soon. But I did this giveaway about 3 months ago, and I gave out store credit. But the person that won the store credit was so generous. They declined it, and they just wanted me to donate an animal on behalf of what they wanted from that giveaway. Yeah, so I'm gonna send out 2 of them. But yeah, man, try and do everything that I can. It's hard right now because I'm expanding so much. I have to fund projects, but that's why I post those screenshots. It keeps me ethical. It keeps me it helps me sleep at night. You know, because I want people to know that I'm doing I'm truly doing what I say. And But yeah, like I say, it's hard to fund because right now I got to build that shed out back, and sheds like that for a snake room, it costs a lot of money, man.
It gets expensive
Um,
quick.
yeah, dude, but I don't know. That's pretty much it that I do for USARK. I haven't done any of the big shows, but if I ever get the chance soon, I mean, I'll figure something out. I don't know. We'll take my best gecko and we'll put it up for auction. But
We'll see, man. Like if I can expand that Texas NARBC at Arlington's hard to get into, but once you're in, I'm gonna see if I can
yeah.
expand a couple tables and we'll sneak you in there too.
Oh, that would be amazing. But
So let's
yeah, man.
talk about one of the things that I'm super excited about, man. Like you could tell that you have a huge passion for the photography of your animals, like not just the animals themselves, which are gorgeous, but your photography skills are freaking amazing, man. And you could tell that there's really a passion behind that. So let's talk about this, man. Like
Oh,
where
nice.
did
Pour
this
them up.
come from, bro? Like
Oh man, I don't know, man. I've always been really OCD. Like I say, there's no shame. I feel like we're all addicts, right? We all have that addictive personality, which is not a bad thing. So because you put your heart into everything that you do and you start. So um, I don't know, man. I got into photography. I got my first DSLR. I started producing a lot of nicer animals, and my iPhone was not doing it, man. Like I wanted to show how the true colors, the true pattern, the crisp lines. I wanted it to look real. So I sold one of the motorcycles that I had, and I reinvested into that camera. I spent like a little bit over $1,000, but if it's gonna make my animals look better, I mean, good
that's
photos
insane, bro.
help
Look at
make the
that.
sales, man. Yeah, good photos help make that sale because it's the true colors, and you can tell that someone put time and work to get those photos. And yeah, I mean, I just try my best. That investment for my camera was probably one of the best investments that I've made. Um, no doubt. There's some crazy nice cameras nowadays. They're not that expensive. It's definitely worth it. But some people can achieve the same product with these new iPhones nowadays because they're so up to date. But I truly love photography, so I like feeling the camera in my hands. Um, I got a I kind of started watching Brittany Gobbles.
Hmm.
Her I saw that video with her on Snakes and the Fat Man, where she was talking about her photography, and I took little tips from that, and I just ran with it, man. I started buying lenses, started buying new gear,
Dude, the
studio
lenses
lights.
mess with you, man. Like
It's
you don't
tough, man.
realize what a difference one lens can do.
Yeah. For the people that are into photography, I mean, I'm sure that they appreciate it. I mean, some people when they inquire about
It's so cool,
animals,
dude. Such a good
oh
picture.
yeah, they want quick photos, right? And I don't do that. I don't just take photos with my phone because it's not going to show their colors how they truly are. So
Hey,
I tell them,
can you send me like 5 more pictures real quick?
yeah, dude, I hate that. I hate to say it, but I really hate that because I put so much time into getting 2 or 3 photos. It's like I kind of take offense. It's like some of these photos, like I won't even get them like in one session. Some of the animals, sometimes they won't work with you. Some of them, they're just gonna keep taking off. You got to come back like in an hour.
Bro,
They'll
that
they'll know
blackhead
and they'll
stock.
probably work. Oh,
Go
dude,
ahead, I'm
heck yeah,
sorry.
the blackhead. Um,
Yeah, that
I don't know,
blackhead
man.
stock's strong, bro. That's beautiful.
Yeah, that's just a straight blackhead male, but I try and make him look like an all-star, right? I mean, it's how we got to do it. But you really got to work with the animals because some of them won't. They're not cooperative, but it sometimes it takes 2 or 3 days, a couple sessions before you get the pictures that are up to par with social media. Because I want the best photos, right? I'll sometimes take 300 photos of one animal, and I'll go through all those 300. And so that's why it kind of drives me nuts when they ask me, can I have more pictures? It's like, because I try
Mhm.
to get all of the angles, right? The side, I get the right side, left side, top view. I try to do everything, but it's a real passion project, man. It's photography is a
Dang,
whole
bro,
other
you might
rabbit
get me
hole.
into leopard geckos. Like,
Oh man, those red diamonds, her babies just hatched
crazy.
out. I've got to set them up. She has some beautiful
And yes, I
babies.
did just like his thing on this. Shh,
No,
that's
but
pretty. That's
I
really pretty.
appreciate it, man. I'm no expert with photography. You're always learning. Yeah, every animal's different. Sometimes you got to change quick settings on the fly, but it's just practice. Practice makes perfect. So you're always like evolving. You're always wanting new lenses to step up that photography game to the next level. So
That's just a single gene blackhead.
yeah, it's that's I think you just posted the same snake after it shed out that last blackhead. I think there were two of them, but that one already sold. Yeah, it's just a straight blackhead, man. I had since my proven breeders were mostly codoms. I got a lot of nice little blackhead combos.
Hmm.
Yeah, man. But
I got some really pretty
photography,
stuff. So did you said you watched a lot of Brittany stuff.
dude, she's such
Um,
a. I love hearing her voice. She just,
she's a
it's
great
easy.
storyteller, bro. Great
Yeah,
storyteller.
it's easy to listen to her because she's just always so happy and so giddy, and it's just the whole vibe. But yeah, I took a lot of pointers from Brittany Gobble as far as photography. But
So did you ever take like an actual class for it, or it's just from messing around and listening to tips from people?
yeah, pretty much just
Nice.
some people shoot in auto mode. I don't like do that. I don't like doing that. I like to shoot full manual mode because that's how you really learn the camera and you learn how to correct and get the right lighting. Because sometimes like the white balance comes out off, and you have to know how to make those quick adjustments. And that's what I like about actual camera and not a phone. You can make those small little adjustments that make a world of a difference for a photo. So
100%.
yeah, man.
Okay.
But if you ever need pointers, John, I can always go help you out, man.
I'm
I
waiting,
love it.
bro.
So
Come on
I
over.
love it.
We were messing
But
around
yeah,
with it today. My wife likes to do the manual stuff, and I'm like, just put it in auto mode. I'm trying to get this video done.
yeah. And the good thing is most times auto mode is good enough. But yeah, those slight little
It's
difference, like
not. Nah,
in
don't lie,
aperture,
bro. I've seen my quality in the shot versus your quality. Like you can tell. I don't do
yeah,
any post shot touch ups either, though. So
yeah,
I gotta figure out how to do all that, and I don't have the patience to sit down and like touch up all my photos.
yeah. It's a pain. Like that's why I sometimes post so late at a night. I'll post like at midnight because I'll literally start taking photos at like 8 p.m. And by the time that I'm done, I'm barely downloading those photos and I'm editing till from 11 to like midnight. And then I'll
Labor
have
of
one
love,
post.
bro. Labor of love. I
Yeah,
know that. That's the way I am with
yeah,
vlogs. I'll shoot a vlog, and then, well, I haven't done it in a long time, but now that I'm getting back to it, I'll shoot a vlog, and then the same night I'll be up till 2 o'clock in the morning, editing, getting it uploaded and scheduled and all that. Just
yeah.
like after this, that's exactly
It's
what I'm gonna be doing. I'm gonna eat something real quick, and then I'm editing and getting it set. But
but like for it's necessary because you got to grow that social media presence like nowadays. So it's worth you pretty much give yourself peace of mind. It's like, oh, if I can get this done now, I'll have a post ready for tomorrow. We'll just hit that. We'll just hit post. It's already ready. Because I recently started learning that algorithm is real, man. You have to be consistent. On Instagram, this past few weeks, I started blowing up. It's like I don't even know. Just you got to post once or twice every day, and you start growing that organic growth. So it's worth the time and the effort.
okay,
Yeah.
where did you what's some of the strategies that you've taken? Speaking of social media, because like, so I know you do a lot on Facebook, especially in the local groups. You do a lot on Instagram daily. So what's kind of your takeaway on how you've built up your 2,000 plus followers on Instagram? And I'm not even sure what you're at on Facebook, but
Not that much. Facebook's
not that
always
much.
slow.
Just do it.
We
Ah,
we
don't act
hardly
like
need
it.
Facebook, but I mean it's there. I don't know, man. It's like, uh, no clue, dude. Um,
Is it just like a daily posting? You're just forcing yourself to make sure you do a daily
it's
post,
like
or
you just gotta post once or twice each day, and I've noticed I don't once I stopped unfollowing people, sorry, following people that weren't truly like real followers. Like they'd follow me for like a day or two, and then I'd go back and I check and they're unfollowing me. It's like, dude, what's up with that? But so once you start to have that true organic growth and you cut out those followers that aren't true followers, it's like the algorithm just starts working. I started unfortunately unfollowing some people because I when I got in, it was like, yeah, follow for follow. We just want to grow, right? But I started realizing that that doesn't work, right? We need the audience that we're targeting to be our followers, the organic followers that you're gonna potentially make sales off of. So if it's not organic, I don't want it. I,
well, on
it
top of that too, bro, is like you got to think like just because. So, like with you, for instance, if I didn't, it's raining. If I
yo,
didn't enjoy leopard geckos, it would be hard for me to follow your stuff, right? And like when we
yep,
first got together and we first started talking, I would like your stuff here and there, but it took me a while to follow you back. And then we started getting into leopard geckos, and we're like, all right, and that's where it drove from, right? But like a lot of people expect that mentality still, and they're just like, oh, I followed you, so you should follow me, and if you don't follow me
yeah,
within 2 days, I'm just gonna unfollow you anyway, so it doesn't matter. It's like, well, don't
yeah,
follow me in the first place just because you met me. Like, follow me because you actually like what I'm putting out, or you want to actually
exactly,
be in contact or something like that, because that's what
yeah,
drives me, you know what I mean? Like the
yeah,
interactions I have with you, the interactions I have with everyone is what really drives me day to day. Like when I'm having a bad day and I'm cleaning my animals and I'm just like, man, everyone, everyone's shit today. Like it's gonna be a long day. What am I gonna? And then you call up a friend or you like video chat someone or you look at someone's reel or something. You know, it's like, oh, that was funny. All right, that got me through it. Let me get the rest of this done real quick. It ain't gonna take that
yeah,
long. But
yeah,
like
yeah,
it breaks that mentality, and that's what a lot of people don't get. Is like you can't do that follow for follow because it doesn't get you anywhere. You're not going to get the
yeah,
interaction on your posts. You're not going to get any of that. So it's not going to build you. It's just, oh,
exactly,
you want to be my friend? I guess I'll be your friend. But then it's just dead space. And the
yeah.
algorithm realizes that it was like my family. Like, this is going to sound really bad. I deleted a lot of my family off Instagram, but it was
That's
because,
harsh. Yeah,
well, no, like I reached out to them and I was like, hey, I'm doing this because you guys are never on Instagram. You don't use it. Like you don't even have the apps on your phone anymore. But
yeah,
you added me out of okay, well, your family, and
yeah,
then you killed it. So it kicks me out of the algorithm.
yeah, exactly. So yeah, I mean that's how it goes. I mean, of course, if we're good friends, of course, I'm gonna be in that inbox. Like some of these breeders, you have to make good friends with because that's how you get these nice projects. Like in geckos, I've got some projects from Art Geckos. He's a lot of people give him smack, but he's a very knowledgeable breeder. And Ben and he entrusted us with certain projects, me and Aaron, that collection that I just bought, because he just liked us as a person, and we're lucky to have those lines from that certain breeder. So, I mean,
Absolutely.
you have to have the connections. I mean, that's how it goes.
Well,
It's worth the
that's
time and the
100%
effort.
how any of this works, bro. Like you can't. Everyone says it. Like we get comfortable with our group, right? And we're really good about pushing each other to want to go to the next level, right? Like no one here locally has stayed in one spot for long because we're always like, "Hey, what are you doing?" What's your
Yeah.
next step? Let me push you to that step.
Yeah.
And we force each other to grow out of our comfort zones regularly. And you have to do that. Like you have to push yourself out of your comfort zone in order to grow. And then you have to, as bad as it sounds, you got to kind of reassess who you keep around all the time. Like it's
Oh,
not that I
definitely.
don't share love with everybody. It's like I each time you grow, you have to look at, okay, what's my next step? Well, who do I need to
Yeah.
surround myself with in order to attain that next step? Like you were just saying, you have to make
Yeah.
those connections. And sometimes it's
Hmm.
scary, and sometimes like old friends will get pissed off at you because you don't have the time that you were divulging before, right? And it's
Yeah.
like, it's not that I don't have time for you. Like I hit you up, we still talk. I'm sorry I don't give you like half days like I used to, but I'm trying to do something here, you know? Like I'm
Yeah.
trying to grow. You're trying to
Yeah.
grow. Like we can't just sit there and cruise beers all night, although that would be fun. We got some stuff to clean up, or we got some stuff to do, and then we can cruise a couple beers and we have a day. You know what I mean? But
Yep. Yep.
it's all
Definitely. But
about who you know and finding that person to help take you to the next level. And then
yeah.
in retrospect of that, what are you doing for the people underneath you at that point? Like just because you're getting help to go up to that next level, are you reaching down and pulling your friends up with you? You know
Oh,
what I
heck
mean?
yeah, man. I always try because I was once that that person, just trying to gain knowledge, just trying to just get help, like because you can get lost in breeding. If it's all you have to have that knowledge, and some people have never bred animals and they want to jump into it and they need that experience. Luckily, myself, I grew up breeding chickens and stuff. I know how to cross breeds and make cross two lines into one properly, but a lot of people don't have that mentorship. So I always try and help my buddies. You have those top fans, right? Those guys that are always in your inbox, like wow, like amazing. And I keep those people close because sometimes they may not have the budget to buy the animal that they want
Right.
from me, but dude, I'll give that guy half off. Like if you want the gecko, I will make it affordable for you just to get you in because you're
Well, you
a
got to be
great
careful
supporter
with
of
that too,
myself.
though, man. Like I understand it.
Yeah.
Like, don't get me wrong, I understand it, and I understand you've probably reached it that way with a couple of people. Not
Yeah,
just
there's
from
a
you, but like
certain
geckos
handful.
you've received and like lineages that you've received have probably come that way. And I've had those as well, but you got to be careful with that as well
Yes, because
because
your
you could
customers become
destroy
your
a project
competition.
that way.
Yeah, your customers can easily become your competition, but that's the name of the game, man. You
Well,
just
it's
gotta
not
be
even that,
ahead.
man. I don't see it that way. Like you can work you can work every genetic that I have in my room right now, and you're not going to go the same route I am. Like
Yeah,
there's no way. Unless
yeah.
you're like literally stealing babies from each one of my clutches, there's no way you'd work it the same way I do. You know
Well,
what I
that's
mean?
with the ball pythons. With the geckos, man, yeah, I'll tell you, it's the communities can get pretty toxic, man, because the projects aren't as vast, so it's
Right.
very hard. It's very tough. But I mean, if you make friends with me, dude, I want you to get you. I want to get you to that next level because in the geckos, we're all going to be more or less the same level, right? It's all about who's the better name, who's the bigger name. But that's what I like about ball pythons because the market's more vast. It's not as like, hey, you're in my space, like you're doing this project. And with the geckos, it can kind of get like that. But that's why I really love the ball pythons because there's so many more genes. It's like you're never gonna really truly hit what like the project that I'm doing. So that's what I like about that. So the ball
So,
pythons are it kind of keeps me sane because the geckos it's a rat race, man. But I don't
well,
know.
especially with the way they breed, man. Like you
Yeah,
can go from like 10, 30 geckos to a couple hundred within a year the way they breed.
yeah,
It's insane, man. Like
but
I'm getting to the point where I'm talking to the wife and I'm like, I think we're overworking the Cresties. Like we need to just separate them and give them some time away from each other. And
oh, do you have them grouped up,
yeah,
male and female? Oh,
yeah.
okay, yeah. I
And the
just
male won't give
separated
her
mine.
any free space. Like this last group of eggs ended up in their food because she was trying to lay and he was chasing her. So
Oh
I got to
man.
separate them for a little while.
I actually just did that like 2 days ago because yeah, I bought the collection and there were a lot of crested, so I was going through them and yeah, I separated them because I kind of noticed them kind of stressed. But it's all learning. I mean, we all learn with experience. So sometimes stuff works,
Well, you
sometimes you got
learn
to
with
change it up.
experience and you learn with mentorship. And I know you said
Yeah.
you didn't get a lot of it, but I feel I feel like you kind of did. Like maybe not in the gecko sense. Your partner probably gave you a lot of mentorship when you
Oh
guys got
yeah, he
started
did.
out. But as far as ball pythons here locally, we have a really good group, and then obviously your ability to reach out and talk to people um,
Yeah.
greatly helps. What do you think was the biggest learning point that you received from someone else?
Uh, I think assist feeding. I mean,
Yeah.
I with my first few clutches, I had certain ones that they just wouldn't get on the feed, and I reached out to Gabe, Ross Reptiles, great guy, local. Um, he gave me that advice to start with a rat tail. Start with like a medium rat, cut that tail, give him a little chunk, and yeah, that worked for already one, two, three snakes, and it got him kick started. After they took that rat tail, I think I assisted maybe one more by hand on actual a mouse hopper, but the other ones got right back onto food. It's like wow.
Nice.
So I don't know, man. Just little stuff like that. Help with identifying certain genes like yellow belly, blade, very subtle genes, stuff like that. You guys have been a great help. Because like with geckos, man, I'm a genetic wizard. Like I can see it and I can tell you pretty much more or less what's in it. But ball pythons, they come out a little more. There's more variety because certain traits are very subtle. You have to have that eye, and that comes with time and that experience. So, um, pretty much, man.
So, say you were talking to me as someone brand new in the industry. What's
Hmm.
your first piece of advice to me as someone coming in?
Uh, as them wanting to aspire to breed, or just as a pet keeper.
Um, we'll go with both. Like, so your advice to a pet keeper, and then your advice to someone who aspires to do more.
Um, I feel like as if you're buying an animal, there's always that chance that you're going to want to breed. So I start the conversation off by saying, do you plan to have this just as a pet? Do you have aspirations to maybe possibly one day breed? Because that can kind of help guide me more as far as like what advice to give them, whether it's which animal they want to purchase, or whether it's their husbandry if they want to go with a rack setup. Because some people buy these $200 tanks, these glass tanks, and they realize that they want to breed later. Like you could have bought the rack in the first place for the price of
One of those
250,
tanks.
right? And you're already set up for success just by saving $200, right? And good advice. So I don't know. I feel like I always tell people, of course, buy what you like because you're gonna. If you get bored of looking at that animal, it's like why buy it in the first place? If you truly don't want it, save up for a nicer animal that's going to make you happy because it's worth the investment, whether it's just for a pet or to breed.
100%, bro. I love it.
Yeah.
Then the other thing I'd like to ask to kind of wrap this up is where do you see yourself building to in the future
Uh,
as far as like
I'm.
numbers and like what you want to do? Like, is this going to be potentially the future full-time gig, or is this going to
All
stay
right.
a hobby level thing for you?
I hope that no one from my work is listening to this podcast. When it comes out, I'm gonna share it, and I hope that nobody sees it because I've been talking about quitting my job a lot lately, man. There's some days where I wake up and I get paid from a gecko that I sold, and it's like, man, why go to work, right? It's like I made my paycheck for the day. So I feel like it's attainable. And that's why I invested in the collection off my buddy because I was ready to take that jump. I've always aspired to do more. Now with my son, I have dreams. Maybe I'll never see those dreams, but I'm gonna shoot my shot and I'm gonna try my best to get there. With the collection
Or
that I have of geckos, I feel like it's one of the best in West Texas nowadays. Well, that I know of, but the genetic library that I have here, thankfully, is amazing. So I hope to take it to the next level, become a known name in the gecko world. Same for the ball pythons. They'll get there slower because my main focus is the geckos. But my ball pythons are starting to get there. I've got those pied girls starting to grow up. Um, Clown combo females. I've got some blackhead hurricane stuff. Trying to step it up that next level. Start making those $1,000 plus snakes.
so
That would be nice.
you want to go full time. What are your aspirations as far as size? Like, are you trying to keep this to where you do it by
So
yourself, or you eventually have your son help with it, or
that
you want to
that
bring
would
in
be amazing.
employees eventually? Like, how grand is grand enough for Mr. Lujan?
Well, I'm a simple man. I'm very happy with the bare minimum, but I'm trying not to be that way because the sky is the limit. When you start working with these ball pythons, you can't doubt yourself. You have to have the confidence. But I don't know, man. I feel I'm gonna build this shed out back. I just got the funds in this week, so it's like we're all set. We got the green light nowadays. So I'm gonna get that contractor down here, get that shed built. I'm gonna go with a 12 by 24 shed for the for our first shed. It's way bigger than the room that I'm in right now, so hopefully that lasts us. But I've got quite a bit of land towards my backyard. It's a little over a quarter acre, so that's quite a bit. Where especially for my area, I'm able to drive back there and do a full turn. And I'm gonna get to building the rat shed after that. Um, I don't know. We'll probably do like a 12 by something for the rats. But I've got so much space, I can keep building shops, man. So if I fill one up, I'll just build one right next to it. It's all good. So I don't know. I'm a little bit over 200 animals right now. Um, it's quite a lot of work right now, but I manage it very good. It's all about time management. There's no sitting on the couch, right? It's like you got to make sure that these
Right,
animals are good to go. But
dude. Movie nights are a luxury over here.
oh shoot, movie nights used to be nice. I haven't had one in a while, especially since I moved these in, man. It's been nonstop work, inventory, feeding, making. Oh, it's a lot. I've already had shipments going out from some of the ones here, so it's crazy. It's a lot of work, but like I say, I've been telling coworkers like, man, I might quit my job. Like I've been telling, I've been leaving little hints like, and my coworkers know what I do, and they think I'm crazy. Some of them do, but some of them say, hey, you're gonna be like a millionaire one day, Chris. And I'm like, hey, man, thanks for the vote of confidence because I need it. But I feel like we can get there, man. If I can match my salary, I mean, I'll be confident to quit my job. I feel like I can fill those funds with photography if I need it, because I feel like it's better
I
to
have
be
no
your
doubt
own
about that.
boss. Oh
I
man,
gotta tell you
thanks.
right now, I would honestly hire you just to take photos of my animals to get them posted.
I was gonna offer you, John, but I don't want to offend people. It's like, hey,
Aye,
I'll
aye.
do it because I love it, right? Like I just love it. So yeah, man, I if I can match my salary one day, hopefully in a year or two, that would be amazing. Because I've made quite a bit to give me that confidence. I wouldn't say like a quarter of my salary, but almost. But off my first 2 years, like that just amazed me. So that gave me that reassurance. So we'll see how it goes with the collection that I picked up. See how it snowballs, but I don't know, man. I feel like I can manage it with me and my son if he grows up quick enough. But I don't know. He still probably has maybe 8, 9 years till he gets there. He's barely 9 months, so we'll see.
Yeah. Enjoy it.
Um,
Enjoy it. It goes by too quick, bro. It goes by
I
way
just
too
want to
quick.
be able, like, the best time to get into reptiles is now. Like, there's no other better time. As just start now because hopefully for my son, I'll have some nice stock for him that he can breed, right? Some hopefully have some bongo clowns, some bongo clown females and stuff that he can breed and pay for his college, right? It's like it's all a dream, but you just gotta keep plugging at it, man. It's how it is. You'll never know.
You work it
Just
right, he won't even have to go to college. He'll be good.
that's what I tell my wife. I mean, just watch. Like my small investments now are gonna be greater investments when I start to stack on hets and stack on these get those recessive combos. It's like my son's gonna be working with animals that are 5, 10 grand. It's like, man, I started out with $500 females. It's like
Right?
so. I don't know, man. I hope to get to that point one day, but who knows? I love my job, so I would hate to quit it because I've been doing it since I was out of high school. So I could retire at my job. I just love it. But I don't know, man. It's those days where I happen to call in to work. Like this morning, I called in because my son got sick, and I got paid from I got paid from this gecko, and I'm like, see, I didn't even have to go to work. So that's how it is, man. I don't know. You got to have those dreams, but
I'll
hopefully one
tell
day.
you, there's times where the stability is nice. There's times where it stresses you a little bit. You get gray hair, but it's all worth it. It all equals out. I think you
Yeah,
definitely have the drive and the passion to do this full time if you wanted to. Absolutely. I've watched you long enough. I I have no doubt that you will be successful in this if you choose to do it full time. Um,
hopefully. Now with the collection, I feel like I have the capacity to get to that point. So hopefully,
Heck
but
yeah, bro. Well, I hope we see it. I hope we do.
yes,
Put El
sir.
Paso on the map.
For
I'm
geckos.
leaving, so you gotta keep the El Paso lineage strong, bro.
Oh man, well, until then, you got to help us grow
Ah,
because once you're gone,
oh,
we
for sure.
there. I'm gonna have to start my own podcast. No, I'm just kidding.
Chuco Town Reptile. No, I'm just kidding. Heck yeah, bro. So if customers want to get in touch with you, or if someone here is listening and doesn't know you yet and they want to check you out, how do we send them your way, bro?
Check out my Instagram. You can DM me on there, Facebook too. Texas Kid Reptiles for everything. Same for my email. Um, hit me up if you want to get a gecko for your kids. I'll hook you up, man. If you want to start to, I know Shane Kelly got real into leopard geckos recently with his family. So if any of you all want to start that little passion project, let me know. I'll set you guys up with something nice. We'll get you set up into this into the leopard gecko hobby how you should on the good start. But yeah, Facebook, Instagram,
Always hustling.
text me. Morph Market. I've got like 20 animals up there right now. I got like 30 more that I gotta post more, but we'll see when I get photos. It takes a long time, so yeah, man. I'm an open book.
Oh yeah. I hope y'all enjoyed this. Mr. Kristian Lujan, a Texas Kid Reptiles.
Appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
Thank you. All right, y'all. Go give my boy some love. All his information will be down in the description below. Next week, we're going to be talking some more about retics. Obviously, I have a little bit of a wild passion for retics. I don't keep but one anymore, but I think it's something that the bug's biting. So once I have the room, we may be in trouble. I hope you all enjoyed this episode. Kristian has a lot of great animals. He has a lot of great information to provide. We barely tap the ice. I think he fully deserves a live at some point where there's a little bit more interaction and he's able to really dive into some of the stuff that you guys would like to know about photography or just about leopard geckos in general. Make sure you go down below. I gotta say it, go down, subscribe if you're on YouTube, hit the notification bell, put it to all. Make sure you're hitting like on all our videos that you're watching and interact. That helps to grow the channel, and it helps to grow what we're doing. If you're listening on audio, make sure you go and you support. Go to anchor.fm or on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, all of that. There's a little button to support the podcast. And so if you feel so inclined, I would really appreciate it. All that stuff goes into either equipment to better the product for you or things that I want to do, as well as the Patreon that we're getting ready to launch. That'll be, again, like I said earlier, more focused towards y'all getting something from it versus me getting something for it. What I want to kind of do is like do trips for people, or like bring them into bigger shows if they couldn't attend before because of money, things like that. So it's another way for me to give back to the community. I appreciate you all. I hope you have a great, safe weekend, and we'll see you next weekend.